Historic day here in Jerusalem, the first ever official visit by a senior Bahraini official, the foreign minister of Bahrain, and it was a good day. The Prime Minister has met this man before. They've met in Washington, obviously, when the deals were signed. They met previously in Warsaw. But this is the first time we had the opportunity to host him here in Jerusalem. And I think that just shows how relations have moved, how swiftly they've moved, and how optimistic we are about building a strong partnership with the Kingdom of Bahrain. And we're moving forward on practical cooperation in a whole series of areas. You've mentioned just two. You mentioned the opening of embassies, which we expect to happen shortly, probably before the end of this calendar year. We're talking also about e-visas. Israelis going to Bahrain and Bahraini nationals coming here will be able to do everything electronically. And they're just two areas where we're talking about cooperation. The foreign minister today in his speech mentioned a whole series of areas where we can cooperate, everything from technology and science to innovation, to commerce, to tourism. And we're really seeing a relationship that is moving ahead in a positive direction at a very robust pace.
Now, I also asked Mark Regev about Prime Minister Netanyahu finally acknowledging Joe Biden as U.S. President-elect in their conversation that they held yesterday, and about what kind of working relationship we can expect between them.
They had a good conversation earlier this week, a warm conversation, quite a long conversation, if I can say. The two men, President-elect Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu, have known each other for years, going back to when the Prime Minister served as Deputy Ambassador in Washington and Biden was a junior senator. So they have a relationship that stretches back 4 decades. And I think that gives us a certain amount of confidence that we'll be working together in a positive way. In the phone conversation, President-elect Biden said clearly that he's committed to Israel, committed to our security. And my Prime Minister reiterated his commitment to the relationship with the United States and the importance of that relationship for us, for our security.
And finally, I asked Mark Regev about whether we can realistically expect that other Arab or Muslim nations will soon follow Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Sudan in establishing diplomatic ties with Israel.
I apologize, Caleb, but I can't give you a scoop for tonight's broadcast. But I can say this. The train has left the station, and the direction of travel is clear. And it's what started with the UAE, went to Bahrain and then Sudan. It's not stopping there. We are seeing a historic change here in the Middle East. We're seeing a process which really is revolutionary, where more and more Arab countries are revisiting historical attitudes to Israel and looking at Israel in a much more favorable way, not seeing us as an enemy, but seeing us as a friend, a partner, and even an ally. And we're going to see more of it. There's no doubt that as today we had a historic breakthrough with Bahrain, and we had recently, as you know, with the UAE, that there will be more to come. That's good for peace, that's good for Israel, that's good for the Middle East.